That it's crazy to think that 115, 113, and that's what you and I were concerned about. If it does go to decision,
Yeah,
can he get it? But I think the way in which Crawford dominated is the way in which Bivol dominated and the way in which Floyd dominated Canelo.
yeah.
And as I said, we saw Bivol, they tried to do the 115, 113 thing, and we knew it was wider than that. Floyd, one of the cards was a frigging draw. Like, and we
No, that
know
was
that
madness.
and that was our absolute masterclass. So the fact that he got the decision was because he beat the brakes off him so
Yeah,
badly that you
that they
could
couldn't rob
not
him.
you couldn't rob him, and that was the main thing.
One of the three kings, him, Crawford, and Usyk, undisputed champions. And obviously, you could
One
put Bivol in there as well. Yeah,
one
and
100%, bro. Who's pound for pound?
yeah,
Who's
at the
pound for
moment,
pound? You just
I'll say
mentioned the
Crawford.
four. You just mentioned the four of them. Who's pound for pound?
Number one, I'd say Crawford right now.
Not
I'd
Usyk.
say I'd put 1.5. You can swap with Crawford and Usyk. Those two.
Yes, people, another edition of Nights and Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guy ST in the building. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all good, bro. We're back. We're back. We're back.
We're back indeed, people. We did say to you that we will be coming back for the review of, bro. It's been an epic weekend. It's been an epic
Bro,
weekend
honestly.
of sports. Obviously, ST and I did our preview for the Athletics World Championships. It is well underway. People, we because people are probably wondering, 100-meter finals gone, the 100-meter hurdles, the 110 hurdles, this and that and the other. People will be doing it as a collective.
Hmm.
So we'll be back with the World Championship review show next week. And we may have a special guest. We may have a special guest. You're gonna have to wait and see. But it's been an epic week of sport, from the athletics to the football. But but
Hmm.
the weekend was capped off by the boxing. And people, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be breaking down what happened between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. We're also going to be breaking down what happened between Inoue and Akhmadaliev. And we're going to be recapping, reviewing, and looking forward to what happens next um, with all of these fighters. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I said, the time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. SD, before we start, as it was a great weekend of sport, we
Hmm.
did get the tragic news Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, about Ricky Hatton passing away.
Hmm.
Very unfortunate. Condolences to his family and all his loved ones, and I hope people show them respect at this time. But he was Manchester born and bred, and ST. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. He was the only guy that got me to go against Money May, bro. Like,
I get you. Me, yeah.
like that hype that he bought for the Money May fight. Like, I don't think I haven't seen anything like it again in boxing in terms of the hype, the fact that obviously thousands and thousands of British fans went over to Las Vegas and basically turned it, because it was the MGM Grand, didn't it? It was the MGM
Yeah.
Grand
Yeah.
that took place at, and bro, turned that, it, brother. It felt like it was the empty had stadium, bro. That's what it felt
Yes.
like. That's what
Yeah,
it
it
felt
did.
like over there. They took it over, and I think that was the thing about him. Obviously, fantastic boxer, two-weight world champion. What was it? Super lightweight and welterweight. He won belts out. Am
Yes.
I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously beating the likes of Castillo, who obviously gave Mayweather. We know about that. He gave Mayweather a tough time. Obviously, his most famous victory against Costas
Yeah.
as well. That's what propelled him into the mega fights, and then obviously the fight with Mayweather. No one will ever forget that. Would never forget that. And then obviously fought Pacquiao as well.
Pacquiao.
Lost both, but I mean those two are on Mount Rushmore,
Elite,
so
yeah.
there's no shame in that. But ST, just what do you think Ricky Hatton's legacy is going to be in boxing? Because I think that he brought a generation into boxing. He was that typical lad's lad. He was that lad's lad, and the passion. He left everything out there in the boxing ring. Just what are your thoughts on him and the impression that he left on the sport of boxing?
Yeah, sorry, I echo your thoughts. RIP to Ricky Hatton. Um, Definitely a British legend. He's in the Hall of Fame. In the end, he deserved it. Fought a lot of great fighters. And also, I think people gravitate to him because, as you said, a lad's lad. He was very likable. He was a
Mm,
normal guy. You wouldn't think he's a boxer. He was someone that everybody loved, very generous from what people saying. And I remember that Patton and Mayweather fight build up. It was hilarious,
oh yeah,
bro. He was so fun. He was quick witted. And also, what happened as well, and there was a story. He brought so many British fans to the MGM Grand. Apparently, the MGM Grand area they ran out of beer. That's
yeah, bruv.
how.
Because
That's how,
you know how it is.
bro.
You know how it
But
is.
but you can tell the testament of the man that all those people came out to watch him.
Mm.
Maybe they had a feeling that he might lose, which he probably would lose. But the fact that
I think it was more that people wanted Mayweather to lose more
to
than
lose,
I
yes,
think people wanted Mayweather to lose more than Hatton to win.
to win, yeah,
Because obviously the way how people hadn't seen someone like Mayweather in boxing before, in
yeah,
terms of how like obviously we had Ali before him. We had Ali, just how
yeah,
outspoken he was. But it was the fact that Mayweather was so disrespectful with it, and obviously
yeah,
that's my guy. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
But
and everyone wanted Hatton to shut him up, but it didn't happen.
it didn't happen. But at the same time, bro, um, you can tell that people really liked him. He seemed really respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And even with all these tributes as well, you see all these you see a lot. Sometimes you see boxers come out. There'll be the few tributes, but there's so many tributes of
Yeah,
him
so
saying
yeah, yeah,
how people helped him, how he was kind.
mm-hmm.
That's the most important thing. Of
Yeah,
course, he was a great boxer, Hall of
mm-hmm.
Famer,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that um a lot of people came up and said really lovely things about it. He's left his legacy as a person and
Yeah.
as a boxer. And
Uh,
also, and I'm just gonna mention this as well quickly, yeah. It's well publicized that Ricky had a lot of demons, unfortunately. He had a lot of drug, depression, and alcohol issues. And even us doing this podcast, we try and as well bring a lot of joy and happiness and jokes. But if you're going through something as well, um, try and confide and speak to someone because ultimately, um, things like this are not really spoken about. And obviously, Ricky, unfortunately, um, passed away due to this. But as a man, we love Ricky. I think everybody loved Ricky, whether he'd win or lose, and we just hope he rests in peace for his family.
100%. I couldn't have summed it up better myself, bro. And it was a very it just brought the mood down of a
He did.
very good weekend of sport. So again, condolences to Ricky Hatton and his family, and as ST said, may he rest in peace. But ST, look,
Hmm.
as much as that happened, I'm sure Ricky would have been excited for this fight that took place
Yes.
over the weekend. And listen, I don't know about you, but it didn't disappoint. Listen,
No, I
people,
enjoyed it.
obviously over the weekend we had Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. Terence Crawford winning unanimous decision. One judge had it 116, 112, and the other two judges had it 115, 113, all in favor of Terence Crawford. And obviously now he is the first man to be in the full belt era to be undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. No, is it lightweight? Is it super lightweight or
Yes.
lightweight?
So 135. So that would be lightweight.
Lightweight,
Then it's
welterweight.
super. No, so it's lightweight, super lightweight, which is 140,
Yeah,
and then welterweight, which is 147.
yeah. We can't have them all. It's only 3.
Sorry, no, sorry. And no, and the super middleweight.
Yeah,
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 so 135, 140, and 168.
yeah. So, bro, first man in the full belt era to do this. ST. First of all, I told man,
You
bro,
did, you did, you did,
there was
you
just
did.
something in the air, and I said I went against Bud once when he fought Errol Spence, and I said never again. But ST, just your thoughts on the fight, how it unfolded, what you saw, and obviously, we know you wanted Bud to win, even though you picked Canelo, which I
Yes.
completely understood why you did so. But yeah, just how did you see the fight? Did you agree with the scorecards? What did Crawford do right in this fight to get the victory?
So first of all, I remember scoring it. I thought the judge who got it 116,
Yeah,
112. That's 8-4. I thought it was
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I think
I
we
thought that was
both. I
right.
think we both said that in the group chat.
I
Yeah,
thought that was the right score,
there's a
and
lot of
people
people
were
that had
saying,
it wider. A lot of people had
why
it
did that?
wider than that.
Which is not
I
true
don't think so.
because Canelo was landing.
Mm,
But what I will say is, yeah, Crawford's technique, and one thing I know we give credit for Crawford's um range of boxing skills. He uses reach very well, uses skills, but I was so impressed with Crawford's inside game, twisted, turning Canelo over to the ropes, catch, pull counters, um, varying the shots, body, upper body strength, body jab. His Crawford's jab was working really well.
mm,
Honestly, the IQ as well of Crawford was on display. Canelo couldn't handle it. People saying his body couldn't react. I don't think it was that. I think it was just that Terence was too skillful. Used his reach, used his jab, fast footed, um, made Canelo respect his power and his strength because Canelo was getting turned around. And we did say in the previous show when we were doing the preview that Terence Crawford is very strong. But
yeah.
it's just we was just like we wanted to see how it was, so he uses wrestling as well. You see Canelo
All
getting
that wrestling with
frustrated.
them MMA fighters, bro. Like
Yeah, and he's been doing
that's
wrestling.
strength.
Yeah, and he's been doing wrestling since he was 4 or 5. That's what he originally was doing. So
Mm,
stuff like that. And overall, but as we both said, Bud's skill was on another level, and we were both wondering. And the reason why I picked Canelo was the fact that we didn't know how Bud would take the power. Bud took his power. And when we found out that, I said in my head, I'm like, yeah, this fight is over because if Canelo's not getting hurt, and let's be honest, and people will think, oh, what are they talking about? Canelo landed shots. It wasn't the fact that Canelo didn't land shots. He did land shots, but Terence took them, took the shots,
he did.
and I'll be honest, Canelo felt his power. I wouldn't say both fighters were hurt, but I would say that Canelo respected Bud's power. He didn't want to come forward and just hit him like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And overall, honestly, I think I speak for both of us when I say we're both proud of this guy because I've known for since Terrence since he fought Prescott, and I was like, yeah, this guy is going to the top, even before Ricky Bez and all these things. And
mm,
I'm now happy to see that Terrence is now getting the credit he deserves. You can't really say anything because now he's beating the best. No hydration clause, none of these things. He
mm,
said, I want you at your best. And he can safely say, yeah, it's the Bud era, it's the Bud Crawford era, and what a fighter, man.
bro, 100%. Listen, um, Bud proved a lot of people wrong in this fight, and we were right. Listen, we had every right. Everybody, because everyone was saying the same thing. Can you take Canelo's power? how are you going to be able to move around with the weight? How will you deal with the weight? Will the weight limit you in terms of your movement and stuff? Um, will it in terms of stamina levels, because you've never fought at 168 before, bro? He answered all the questions. Um, and yes, you're right. He made Canelo respect his power. And people, we're not talking about, oh yeah, Canelo was hurt. He wasn't. He because Canelo's got a granite chin. He's got a granite chin. I think Bud said that as well. I think Bud said he caught him in one of the rounds, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, Canelo's chin is top tier, bro." But Bud also showing that he could take the shots because, as you said, Canelo's landing shots, a lot of shots to the body. That was what was working for Canelo in this fight, the body shots. And yeah, he did have to take one or two on the chin, but he took it well. And I think Bud said post fight he expected Canelo to hit a lot harder. He said people have hit me harder in sparring, and that's why he's managed to be able to take it. And then we saw ST in the early rounds. Obviously, you and I both said he wasn't going to be able to download data. He still did. He still did. He still downloaded the data in the early rounds. But bro, the lateral movement, the jab, which obviously we said was working for him so well. He was counter punching. And anytime Canelo tried to build up a head of steam, Bud had the answer. So when Canelo was going to the body, Bud was like, all right, cool, I'm just going to take a step back so you can miss. Or I'm just going to drop the hands to get the block. When Canelo tried to do those headshots, Bud's, we're not exchanging. When he got on the ropes, straight movement, and that's what Bivol did so well, is that whenever Canelo tried to get him up against the ropes, he just moved. And in the end, Bud too smart, too strong, and
Also, I will say this about Canelo, even though, like, obviously give Crawford the credit. Canelo didn't vary his attack. I thought Canelo's defense was better than his actual attacking output.
it was one dimensional.
Very
He was just
one-dimensional.
loading up.
Yeah,
He
no
was just
jab.
loading up. But this is the thing, ST, and this is what people like. Obviously, we've seen in his previous fights. Bro, he's been doing that for years.
Yeah, for a
He's
long time.
he stopped using the jab. He stopped um, with the combinations. He's just loading up. He's just loading up power shots and hoping that will be enough. And it wasn't. With someone with the boxing IQ that Bud has, the movement that Bud has, that was never going to work. And Bud executed the game plan to absolute perfection. We knew that Canelo was going to try and walk him down because Canelo was like, "Yeah, nah, you're not going to hit me that hard." Um, and then we realized that by the round 6, round 7, Canelo couldn't walk him down no more. So Canelo was still trying to cut off the ring, but he couldn't walk through the shots anymore. But then we realized Bud was willing to exchange. I think it was in the 9th or the 10th round where he stayed in the pocket and they just both went at it. And Bud was just connecting with combinations on the inside. And I was like, yeah, Bud's got this in the bag. And bro, I can't give Bud enough credit for what he did, because as we said, he wanted this fight. He's been calling out Canelo for a while now. Canelo didn't want the fight because, like I said, he saw it as low risk, low reward. The only reward he was getting from this was a payday. Bud was taking all the risk, um, and obviously credit to Turkey Al Sheikh and Dana. They came up with the money to persuade Canelo to do the fight. Obviously, outside of Canelo, in terms of even though they were in separate weight classes, the fact that Bud wanted this, he is the biggest name that um, could attract the biggest eyes. It wasn't the best fight in the division, but it was the biggest fight because we all know, as we said in the preview, the biggest fights for these two were other people. Biggest fight for Bud is Boots, and
Boots.
the best fight for Bud is Boots, and the best fight Canelo is Benavidez. After looking at this fight, I now understand why Canelo ran from Benavidez, because
Benavidez would have topped him.
Benavidez would have finished Canelo's career a lot earlier, and it makes sense now. One thing I don't like, ST, is people saying that a lot of people going around saying that Canelo's going off the Floyd blueprint in terms of cherry picking his fights, and I'm like, I love when people do that because I'm just like, hold on a minute, right? Yeah, don't get me wrong, Floyd did pick his fights, but there wasn't one bum in any of those fights that he picked. They were all names that had been champions at some point. Whereas Canelo fought Berlanga, Skull, fucking John Ryder.
Skull used to be a world champion, but John Ryder.
Bro,
I hear you.
I'm
I hear
being
you.
like
So,
compared when people were saying
compared to Floyd.
when people saying Floyd cherry picking, man fought Mosley, man fought Cotto, man fought White. We all knew
I
who
know
these
you're saying.
people were. Do you know what I mean? That's why I hate when they do this comparison because Canelo was
Rocky
picking
man,
bums.
like Rocky Fielding and all them.
Yeah, Rocky Fielding order. Canelo's picking bums. So do you know what I mean? People don't make that comparison. But ST, before we talk about Biden in the future, we gotta talk about Canelo, bro, because obviously this is his third defeat. Obviously losing to Floyd and Bivol previously before this. He looked you know when someone just looked like they were there for a payday.
He did.
I don't know about you, but literally, like, I'm not saying that he didn't come to win, and I'm not saying that he didn't try to win, but it just wasn't the Canelo that we saw. And I think this is what people fail to understand in sport. You can't just switch it on and switch it off. Like, we saw the fights against Skull, Berlanga, and all these guys, but everyone but thought it was because he couldn't bring himself up for these fights. He knew he was going to win, but it's not a tap. You can't just switch it on and off in terms of levels. It's an adage that they use in football all the time. You can't just turn it on and off. In boxing, you can't just turn it on and off. And he tried to get up for this, but bro, he looks a shadow in the boxer that dealt with Kovalev and all these man. Do you know what I mean? So from a Canelo perspective, yes, the body shots were getting in there. Couldn't really connect with the hooks too tough. He looked slow. He looked sluggish. And I think towards the championship rounds, he looked like he didn't really want to be there anymore. But it was a testament to Bud because we both said in terms of what Floyd and Bivol did, obviously fast feet, head movement, combinations, boxing IQ. The other thing they did was frustrate the hell out of Canelo. And when he gets frustrated, these are the things that he does. So from the Canelo's perspective, ST, what happens now? What does he do? Does he retire? Like, what else is there for him now, especially after getting this payday? What else is out there for him? Because he's lost all the belts at super middleweight. Never a mention of a rematch. Like,
He didn't want it.
Can he continue boxing? I think, like, people need to understand this guy's been boxing since he was 15 years old. He's 34, bro. He's been boxing professionally, bro, for 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Like, accomplished so much in the sport. That was his 68th fight.
Yeah,
500 and something plus rounds. Like, ST, is there anything left, or is it just retire, bro?
Bro, I'll be honest. For him, yeah, and I know, like, just take it easy, bro. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Yes, you've lost to three of the best fighters ever in Crawford, Bivol, and Floyd. But bro, you've made it is. He felt like he's made so much money. He didn't have that. There wasn't that anger that Canelo that you see.
That hunger.
Yeah. I say fight Jake Paul, bro. Earn your bag and then just fuck him up and finish him.
Yeah, I mean that's what we all want. I think after this fight, I think that is a viable option. But
yeah,
I think with the money on the table, I don't think they would. With the money on the table, I don't think Jake Paul would allow him to be able to flatten him. Like, because they'll put something in the contract saying, yeah, like, don't put him to sleep or whatever, blah blah. Because you know how these things are already, bro. Like with these
Yeah, bro.
guys,
Yeah.
like this whole all a
Yeah.
gimmick thing. But it's like if
Yeah.
you want this payday, you can't. It will be one of them ones. If you want this payday, you can't flatten him, like or something like that. So it's one of them ones. But I agree with you. I think, bro. I think he's done everything there is to do in the sport. He is a legend. You can debate whether he's the best Mexican fighter of all time. You can sit there and have that debate. Is he in the top 10 all time? Personally, for me, no.
Just
Um,
outside for me personally,
um, and I say that
respectfully.
looking at who he's fought and who he's lost to, I would say personally, ST, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever he came up against a fellow Hall of Famer, he lost. And I'm talking about Hall of Famers that were in their prime. And bear in mind, Floyd wasn't even in his prime. I know you could talk about the fact that he was drained for the weight and he was young and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. But you still Floyd was still what? Floyd was still old when he fought him. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, whenever he came up against a fellow Hall of Famer, he lost. Yeah, you could talk about the Kovalevs of this world, but I would say he was pretty much past it by the time he fought Kovalev.
Gennady,
Who?
Gennady Golovkin,
Oh,
GGG.
all right, fair. All right, Triple G's
Even though
probably
I,
Triple.
even though I
But
thought,
the first
yeah,
one,
yeah,
I said
first
Triple
one
G won that fight.
won, yeah,
Yeah,
and I thought he won it
yeah,
comfortably.
yeah.
I'll be
But
honest.
okay, we'll give him Triple G. Yeah, but besides that, I would say any time he came up against another Hall of Famer in their
Their
prime,
prime,
he
he lost.
lost. He lost, and that's why I would have him outside of my top 10. But listen, he is a Hall of Famer. He has done so much for the sport, bro. Because when Floyd left, there was a void. There wasn't that uh, guy that could bring the eyes to the boxing, and
But
Canelo took that
yeah,
mantle and he ran with it. Obviously, you can talk about then obviously the emergence of Anthony Joshua as well. But yeah, especially for Mexican fans, bro. Like, and he never. All right, take Benavidez out. He never ducked anybody else. Maybe ST, you could think of someone else, I don't know. But I think Benavidez
he could have fought Gennady Golovkin earlier.
earlier, yeah, he could have
Yeah,
fought Triple G earlier.
but
But
apart from that,
yeah, I'd
nah.
say Benavidez is the only one
Yeah, yeah,
personally. I
yeah.
know a couple people might have one or two others that they might say, but Benavidez is the one that stands out. But yeah, bro, sail off into the sunset. You got nothing
And
else to
even
prove.
Floyd himself, even Floyd himself said after that, this is the guy that
Yeah,
is gonna make.
Floyd said, yeah, Floyd, exactly, and Floyd knew what he was doing with Canelo. He knew that Canelo was gonna take over from him in terms of being the guy in boxing. But yeah, time to sail off into the sunset. You got nothing else to prove. Go and enjoy your life with your family. Still, the thing is, he's still young enough to continue, but there's so much mileage
Yeah,
on the clock that it's
yeah,
not worth it. Yeah. But Canelo, we salute you. Obviously, we wait to see what decision he makes in terms of what he does with his career. But bro, it's a boxing career that he's come in, he's fought, he's won belts at so many different weight classes. Like, you gotta respect the man for what he's done and the way how he's dominated in boxing. But bro, Bud is the best of his era. And
five
now,
weight. He's a 5 weight world champion, bro.
bro, five weight world champion and the first man to be three time undisputed in three different weight classes in the full belt era. So the next thing that we have to say, ST, is what next? Because there are people saying that Bud can retire now.
Yes, he
Obviously,
can. I would.
Bud being older because Bud's 38 next week, I
Yeah,
think, do believe.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so and bro, he's 42 and 0.
31 knockouts.
Bro, and he's done so much in the sport, and this is the pinnacle. And ST, when we look back at his journey, as we said, like, he wasn't supposed to be the guy. A lot of
No.
promoters put him on the back shelf and didn't want him to fight this person and didn't really look at him as anybody. They had no respect for him. He had to fight, kick, and claw his way to the top.
Yeah.
And it was obviously that Errol Spence fight that put him at the top, but this one just takes the cake and puts him into another stratosphere. And now people will know the name Terence Crawford, whether you are a boxing fan or you are a casual, because he's just gone and done something that only two other men could have done. So when you look at it from that perspective, ST, obviously we knew that he was hungry for this fight. Now he's achieved it. What else has Bud got to prove?
I'll be real. He don't need to prove anything as well, bro. He's beating the best guy, and he's beating all the guys in front of him comfortably. Like, if he wants, he can. I obviously he doesn't like Charlo. If he wants to do that, he wants to do that. But I don't really want to see that because he'll fuck up Charlo. Like,
Bro, there's only one fight.
He can fight Boots,
That's the only fight.
and even that, I still think he'll beat Boots because as good as Boots is,
because Boots is, you said, sorry to cut you off. You said Boots is going up to 154, right?
144, yeah. But
bro, they could do it at 160.
Yeah, Terence says he doesn't want to go to 154.
Yeah, no, but that's what I said. That's what I said. They can do it at 160.
I don't know if Boots want to go up to 160 because I can't even lie. As much as I like Boots' skill, Boots hasn't fought anybody yet of notice as well. Like,
well,
really...
if Boots, like, look, Boots couldn't get the fight before. Now that Crawford has done this, bro, Boots is gonna have. If Boots wants to fight, Boots has to do what Crawford did to Canelo. He's just gonna have to agree to the terms. I agree. I think Crawford will come down to 160 for it. I think he'll come down to 160 for it. He won't go 154, but I think he'll come down to 160 for it. So it's whether or not Boots wants to go up. I think that's why Boots. Personally, I think this is why Boots has made this move to 154. I think he's made the move to 154 because he's probably thinking, I'll probably get Terence Crawford at 160.
Partly, but also Boots is a very big guy, in it. So apparently he's been struggling at 147 for years, and it makes sense because Boots is not that much shorter than me.
Oh, fair.
And people know me, and you know me, I'm a tall guy. So for him to, and I walk around at 180, 170. So for the fact that he's making that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And even Spence as well. Spence is not little as well. These guys making 147. It's tough.
Yes,
so I understand why these guys are basically middleweights. So I understand why Boots is moving up in that sense. But if that fight ever happens, and if Crawford is fit, yes, Boots has a lot of skills, but Boots is very open. I've watched Boots fight, and sometimes he gets caught a lot.
Okay.
And I think Crawford would exploit that, but it depends on how Crawford is. But that's the only fight. But if not, bro, listen, you can sail into the sunset. You've done what you had to do. You finally got that real Hall of Famer on your resume. You've now the naysayers won't say anything, and plus you've done it in a way where no clauses. You were the B side.
Exactly.
A bit like, for example, Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep.
B side had everything against you. You had to agree to Canelo's terms more often than not, and you still beat him. And you got the judge's decision as well. And even though I thought the two of them were very close, I thought, see, the fact that you've done that
115, 113 is criminal.
But two cards, 116, 112 was
116, 112 was fair, but 115, 113. But again, this is what I'm saying. Like it's crazy to think that 115, 113, and that's what you and I were concerned about. If it does go to decision, can he get it? But I think the way in which Crawford dominated is the way in which Bivol dominated, and the way in which Floyd dominated Canelo. And as I said, we saw Bivol, they tried to do the 115, 113 thing, and we knew it was wider than that. Floyd, one of the cards was a frigging draw. And we know that and that was our absolute masterclass. So the fact that he got the decision was because he beat the brakes off him so badly that they couldn't rob him. You couldn't rob him, and that was the main thing. But Steve, before we wrap up on Crawford, where does he rank now? I'm not talking about, obviously we're saying that he's the best of his era, but in terms of on the list of the GOAT conversation, because we got, obviously, and I know we know what this is because everyone's now saying Crawford would have beat Floyd if he was in Floyd's era. Crawford's better than Floyd. Now, I don't disregard Canelo saying that it was Crawford was a tougher fight. Crawford is better than Floyd. I take that at 70% because 30% is because Canelo cannot stand Floyd. So he would say that. But he's fought the both of them. There's circumstances, but there's circumstances behind it. And this is what people need to understand. Because when people are like, oh yeah, Crawford would have beat Floyd. Which Floyd are we talking about? Because me personally, and this is what people seem to fail to understand. After the handbrakes, when Floyd broke both his hands, was the reason why he couldn't knock people out anymore. Because Pretty Boy Floyd was knocking people out. Yeah. Money May had to adjust because to keep his hands, which is why you have people saying he was the best defensive. He had the best defense in boxing. We never got the opportunity to see Money May and Pretty Boy combined. Money May and Pretty Boy combined, ST, I don't care what anybody says. Nobody is touching him. I don't care.
That would have been long. It would have been long.
Nobody is touching him if we could have combined the two. But what I will say is this, because I hate these comparisons. We need to appreciate both fighters.
Yes.
Bud is never going to say anything because he looked up to Floyd. Yeah. He still does. Like, so everyone trying to do this because they hate Mayweather. It's not going to work,
Floyd,
bro.
And I know Floyd probably did it. I don't know, but Floyd put a bet on Canelo losing to Crawford. He may have put a double bet, but
he put a bet. What, for Canelo to beat?
No, for Crawford to beat Canelo.
Oh yeah, of course he would, because Floyd knew that. Floyd knew, bro. Floyd knew, and this is the thing. Like I said, because without all the reason why I say this, ST, is because I just want to put this out there because everyone can't wait to shit on Floyd. So Terence Crawford would have wiped the floor with him, or Terence
Crawford. You need to mention him.
Huh?
Nobody needs to mention. I don't know why people are mentioning Floyd.
Because look, when oh, for frick's sake, Dortmund are winning 4-2, bro. Because people can't keep Floyd out their mouth. That's why.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's pure hatred. Like, why can't we just appreciate the greatness of Floyd, who has nothing to do with this? And why can't we just give Crawford his moment of his greatness? That's it.
Bro, like, to answer, I was going to answer your question in the sense of where do you put Crawford? He's high up there. I don't know. You know what?
Is he in the top 10? I'm just thinking. There's an argument for it. There's an argument for it. I think,
but other fighters such as Floyd and stuff like I put them a bit higher because
so what I would say is this. I think in terms of boxers I've watched, I would say he's in the top 10. Because obviously, like, I'm talking about in terms of live, because we wouldn't have seen Ali, we wouldn't have seen, obviously, Foreman and all that.
Yeah.
Like, we hardly saw, obviously, Hagler and Hearns and, Sugar Ray Robinson and all that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm talking about in terms of boxers that I've seen.
He's up there.
He's up there. Whether you could talk to the boxing historians about everything else. I'm just talking about what I've seen in terms of my personal experience. He's in there. Of course he is. I would have him in my top 5 personally in terms of boxers that I've seen. But I think there's an argument to have him there overall. I think there's an argument. I think the only thing that's a detriment to him
is the names that he's fought.
Is the names. That's where his problem is, the names. Because the names that you've got on there, Spence Jr. and Canelo, compared to other fighters that probably have a wealth of names on there. But yeah, I think there's definitely an argument for it.
But then again, partly then it's not his fault. He can only beat who's in front of him, right?
Yeah, there's that. And obviously the politics played a big part. I think a lot of it wasn't his fault. A lot of politics, I said people, these promoters didn't want anything to do with him, and they didn't want their boxers fighting him, and they didn't want him fighting
because they knew
certain
what would
people as
happen.
well. But yeah, so a lot of it wasn't his fault in this case. But bro, massive respect to Terence Crawford. We'll wait to see what he does, bro. But definitely the best of his era, and we'll wait to see what happens. But that wasn't the only fight that took place. ST, I was early Sunday morning, but Sunday afternoon we had Inoue again, bro, the monster fighting Akhmadaliev, bro, for the super bantamweight title. I mean, I think the only thing, Inoue obviously won by unanimous decision wide on the cards. I think the only thing that surprised us, ST, is that it went the distance. I think I said that he had knocked out his last 12 opponents, hadn't gone the distance since, I can't, was it when he fought Donaire? Is it Donaire that he fought? When did it? I can't remember off the top of
Yeah,
my
it was
head.
there, and he got
Yeah.
Uniman. He was in the World Series.
Yeah. So, like, I'm surprised that he didn't stop him, even though I think in the 10th, I think it was the ninth or 10th round, Akhmadaliev did rock him. But we've seen that
No,
in,
it was the 12th. It was 10th and the 12th round that Inoue got rocked.
yeah. Um, but we saw him get dropped in the fight before, so it's not a surprise. But bro, the monster just keeps on running through these guys, brother. And this is a guy that people were saying he was ducking. This is a
Bro, this is
guy.
what I'm saying. The Akhmadaliev brother was talking a lot. Eddie Hearn and them man was saying, "Oh, he's afraid of me. Oh, why does he not want to fight me and stuff like that? You fought all these guys, but you're not fighting me." Inoue said, "Okay, you're talking rubbish, yeah. All right, I'll fight you," and absolutely schooled him. And I was in my head thinking, and it kind of played out the way that we said. Akhmadaliev was too slow, but even that, I'm like, bro, you're talking all this stuff, but you couldn't do anything with him.
Mm,
Like
yeah,
you were
apart from the two times that you rocked him, there was
nothing.
nothing else. There was nothing else, and I think that was just because in there we just dropped his hands and wasn't
Yeah,
really. Do you know what I mean? But at Medaliev, bro, he turned up and he didn't get turned over. I'll say that he didn't
yeah,
get spocked out. He didn't get stopped. So I think he can take something from that he took Inoue the distance. But that's all he can take from it because Inoue just dealt with him, literally just
yeah.
beat him up and just said, you know what, it's on to the next one. And bro, who is the next one for Inoue? Because he's just wiping the floor with people. And I think Inoue is unfortunate that again it's a small division, it's smaller weights. So the names are people that people are people that people a lot of people won't know. But who's next for him? I think you mentioned it in the preview. But who's next?
Nakatani is probably the fight that I would say, and he is going to be a difficult fight for Inoue. He's very tall, Japanese like him, but very skillful, very skillful. You've got Nick Ball if he wants to move up, and all these other guys, but I think Inoue is gonna be. Inoue is very small. Even I think 126, even 130 would probably be his limit. I don't think he can go higher than that. And to be honest, Inoue has gone up in a lot of classes. I think this is his
Yeah,
fourth or fifth one of them.
yeah,
Like it's a lot of classes. Like you don't need to prove too much. Like and the fact is, Inoue is still young, bro. This is the craziest thing about it. But yeah, man, honestly, Monster showed his boxing skills. He is a very good boxer, and you know it is because he's not European and all these things. And you know how we fans don't look at him and stuff like that. People need to realize this guy is an elite fighter, one of the three kings. Him, Crawford, and Usyk, undisputed champions. And obviously you
one
can put Bivol in there as well. Yeah,
one
and
100%, bro. Who's pound for pound?
yeah,
Who's
at the
pound for
moment
pound? You just
I'll say
mentioned the
Crawford.
four. You just mentioned the four of them. Who's pound for pound?
Number one, I'd say Crawford right now. I'd
Not
say
Usyk.
one 1.5. You can swap with Crawford and Usyk, those two, and then I put
The
you
reason,
Inoue
the
third.
reason, the reason why I say Usyk
Is the
is
names
own
right?
is the names.
Yeah,
It's the
fair
names.
enough.
Don't get me wrong. Obviously, fighting Canelo and fighting Errol Spence puts you up there. But I think that beating Fury twice, beating AJ twice, beating Dubois.
And then his cruiserweight stuff as well, beating
His
all those
cruiserweight
great
stuff as
fighters
well. Obviously, moving up to heavyweight and being the
and beating
first,
them
being the first man since Lennox to
to win that
become undisputed, and then doing it again to become two-time undisputed and being
and
with them
doing it
names
away
and
as well.
and doing it in a weight class where you're probably the lightest man and you're outboxing everybody. So I think
Maybe, yeah.
I get why Crawford's up there after this Canelo after this Canelo fight, but I think there's something to be said about what Usyk has done in
Even
heavyweight
Crawford
boxing.
himself, I think Crawford himself mentioned, yeah, if you lot have Usyk is the one you can say because Crawford and Usyk are very good friends, and he's like,
Yeah, look,
and
it's
he's like, and he's like, wow. Usyk said, I mean, Crawford said to Usyk, yeah, like if you put Usyk as number one, I don't blame you. As number one pound for pound, I don't
yeah,
blame you.
mm,
That's what he said.
yeah, 100%, bro. Or you can have Crawford. I think Crawford being the best of his era, like, don't get me wrong, I completely understand it, moving up the two weight classes and whatnot. First person to become undisputed in three different weight classes, so I completely get it. But I think there's an argument for Usyk because of the type of caliber that he's fought. Inoue, obviously, a victim of being a small man. But he's definitely an argument's there for him. But I see too many people putting too many guys ahead of Inoue when Inoue's undefeated.
No,
In a way,
that's
how he's dealing
disgusting.
with people, and then Bivol, obviously, the Bertabiev. So, hold on, why is that trilogy not happening?
So Bivol's had an injury. So Bivol was injured for a while,
But so
and
how's Bertabiev fighting for a belt? Or and hold on,
I don't
isn't
think
Benavidez fighting Yard for a belt as well?
no Benavidez has the belt because Bivol Benavidez was Bivol's
Mandatory.
mandatory, but obviously Bivol was injured and he
Oh
couldn't
yes, I
fulfill the
remember
mandatory.
because we were all cussing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
see,
now
that's what I'm saying.
Bertavi,
Like, I don't, bro. Like, this is it's one of the irritating things about boxing. It's like vacating and blah blah blah,
yeah.
bro. Like, we just want Bertabiev and Bivol free. Like, we don't care about anybody else. But
No, to be honest,
unfortunately,
I would have loved Bivol and Benavidez, bro, and they sparred each other. That
like,
would
no,
have been
no,
nice.
look, that could have happened after the trilogy fight. Like, I don't, like, I'm not saying that I don't want these fights, but they need to sort. It's 1-1. It's 1-1. They need to sort that out for all the belts, and then I can take a Benavidez versus whoever wins. Like, I don't mind that after that. But I just hate this. Oh yeah, well you gotta fight this, but bro, like you're denying people the fight. Like I get it because you got the belts and you need them to be defended because of the money that you make, bro, bro. But when we're talking about undisputed, yes, bro, 4-4. When would yeah, bro,
Where?
yeah, bro, it's a game.
Hey,
All eight goals have been in the second half as well.
Juventus are going to be an exciting team this. Hey, the
We
Serie A
should,
is going to be
bro. I'm
nice this
vexed
year.
though because we should be beating the Borussia Dortmund. But yeah, bro, listen, it's exciting times for boxing right now. Very happy with where it's going. And listen, Terence Crawford, GOAT status, bro, 100%. But people are going to wrap it up there. Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think about the Canelo and Crawford fight. Is Crawford now pound for pound number one? Do you think that Canelo should retire? Do you think that Crawford should retire? And where do you rank Crawford in terms of being one of the best, greatest boxers of all time? Let us know what you think about Inoue Akhmadaliev. Who do you think that Inoue should fight next? Let us know where you rank Inoue into the pound for pound and where you rank Inoue in terms of being the greatest of all time as well. We want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. At the same time, share, share, share. We are here. Keep telling you people it's the only YouTube channel where you're going to get a variety of different sports, a variety of different content, and information from people that know what the fuck they're talking about as well, people. No one else out there is like us. So listen, tell a friend, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. want to say thank you very much to my guy ST as usual. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, man. What a weekend of sport, man. I really enjoyed it. But obviously, again, I have to reiterate, RIP have Ricky Hatton, man. That was a bit of a downer. We're sad. We hope his family um take the time to mourn, and yeah, just take the time to mourn, and may his soul rest in peace.
100%. And my sentiments exactly, bro. People coming up, we will have the Athletics World Championships review that will be coming up next week. We will be bringing back footy chat at some point in the near future as well, because Champions League football has started. And our next boxing talk will be that card in Riyadh with
Yeah,
Benavides
Benavides and Yard, yeah.
and Yard and Bertabiev. So
Benavides is on that card, yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that'll be our next boxing talk. Can't think of anything in the UFC right now, so I might not be back with two people. But yeah, that's off the top of my head. That's what I'm thinking about. But listen, people, listen, as usual, stay safe out there, be safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.